asked you this before, but do you remember the house you were born in?
No, Howard. I moved here as a child,
Okay.
so I don't remember. Don't believe I even saw it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, going back on subsequent trips.
Do you remember any house you were born in? I mean, any house that you lived in when you were younger?
Well, of course, the house I grew up in was the house.
What did it look like?
Well, it's a medium-sized house. Middle income neighborhood. Neat. My mother was very neat. Nice landscaping.
Yeah. What color was it?
It was white in those days.
White.
Mm-hmm.
Did it have, what are they called, shutters and things like that?
No, it had, in the beginning years, it had the little alcove for a front window.
Where can you picture the house you lived in when you grew up? What was the primary place?
Well, I grew up in so many places. We were in the military, so every 4 years we moved. But the primary place that I grew up in, what I remember, is base housing. It's all the same. It's the white with the either green roofs or red roofs.
Yeah.
Very nice homes.
Where were you born?
New Jersey.
Where in New Jersey?
A place called Elizabeth.
Oh yeah, near the bridge, the Gotham Bridge.
Ah yes, used to drive across it all the time when you only had to be 18 in New York.
Do you remember one particular house you grew up in?
I remember all the houses I grew up in. There were 1, 2, 3, only 4.
Is there anyone in particular that you remember?
Probably the formidable years during World War II when I lived on an army post with my father. You know.
What did the house look like?
There was a 1-story wooden house, bordered on being a barracks down at Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Yeah. Would you describe the home to me? What did it look like?
Well, it was wood frame. It was in a suburb of Baltimore with lots of big trees. I remember the trees because I miss them. And had 2 stories and an attic and a cellar. We used to play in the attic on rainy days. That was always fun, and there were lots of trunks and neat things to get into up there. And I had a sleeping porch off of my bedroom, which was also a lot of fun.
What color was the house?
Probably white. When it was last painted, just before Daddy died, it was gray with black shutters.
Where were you born?
I was born in Philadelphia.
Okay. Do you remember the house that you lived in as a child most of the time? Is there one particular house?
In the town that I was born, we moved away when I was about 5.
Right.
And so I do have recollections of early childhood there.
Right.
Possibly the last 2 to 3 years of that.
Yeah.
Really remembering what it was like.
As a teenager, like, where did you grow up?
Outside of Philadelphia, in a country setting, semi-farm type of atmosphere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was the house like? Sounds good.
It's an old house built in mid to early 1800s that we restored. Had a barn with it.
Jeez.
4 acres of land, fields, woods, stream, the whole 9 yards. Cat and dogs.
Can you think of a person in your life who you just as soon forget about? You had a negative association with?
So much so that I've already forgotten about him.
Okay, but think of that person for a moment. Think of one particular person. Okay, how would you describe their personality?
Very, very disarming. The personality was the type of person that might say you would like to help and like to get to know more. That was why I don't like that person, or I would like to forget that person.
All right. Condenser elements had to be fitted into a U pattern, and 30 BTU units average 2,500 square feet, need a separate electrical unit from the gas hookup. So I was like really puzzled about whether to take out the gas heater and put in an electric electric one for both the air conditioner and the gas unit, or whether to go with the gas heater and stay with the electrical one coming in. Then I got 2 quotes, and actually the quotes were pretty similar, so it's really a tough thing. So I don't know really how I'm going to do this, but I think what I'm going to do is keep the gas heater,
Yeah.
and then I think I'll put the electrical one in and have electric air conditioner and a gas heater, even though the gas heater is old,
Okay.
and the tonnage on the unit for the air conditioner, that will be sufficient. Okay.
Doesn't.
Okay. They were telling me that there's a 25 BTU unit and a 30 BTU unit. I guess that's a tonnage unit. And he thought I needed the 30 BTU unit, which averaged 2,500 square feet. And the issue was, okay, the voltage system, whether it was a 220 or a 110, and he really wanted to understand, how many square feet I had, and I had this gas unit that heated the house, okay, and I had the electrical unit which would which would run the air conditioning. So the electrical unit, I could have had everything electric. Like I could have had the heat electric, and I could have had the gas and the air conditioning electric. They were talking to me about 25 BTU units versus 30 BTU units, and 220 voltage systems versus 110 voltage systems. And the idea that the condenser elements must be fitted on a U pattern, he's telling me. And the 30 BTU units average 2,500 square feet, need a separate electrical unit from the gas system. So I have a gas heater and electrical, and nothing for the air conditioner. So they're going to put the one guy came out and he said, well, I'm going to put the electrical, I want to change your gas unit, since it's an old one. Yeah, it's 10 years old. Right. I want to change your gas unit to electric. And so your heating unit's electric, plus your air conditioning's electric. So a whole new system, everything electric. The other guy came out and said, no, keep the gas system the way it is, and we'll put the electrical one in with the air conditioning. And the price was about the same. So I was really puzzled. I was in a dilemma on what to do. And then they're talking about things having to be squared away with registers at the bar type, with return air, and this, that, and the other thing. So I finally figured out that I'd put the electrical unit in as the air conditioner and leave the gas heat. Do you think that was wise?
I don't know.
25 BTU units is installed with a 220 voltage system or something like that, and then I had to have the condenser elements, which must be fitted to a U pattern, and I guess 30 BTU units average 2,500 square feet and need a separate electrical unit from the gas systems. So I had a gas system. See, I have gas that runs the heat, and then they wanted to put the electrical unit in to run the air conditioning because I don't have it. So one guy came in and said he put the electrical unit to run both the heat and the air conditioning, so my whole house would be electric. The other guy came in and said, no, we'll leave the gas unit, which was 10 years old, it was about 10 years old, and made conk out of me, who knows when, which needed a 220 voltage system, where the condenser elements must be fitted on a U pattern. Then I had a 30 BTU unit that I could have chosen, which averaged 2,500 square feet and needed a separate electrical unit from the gas system. Because I have a heating unit that's a gas system, and I have an electrical unit which would run the air conditioning. But I had a guy come in and say I could do it all electric for about the same price. The condensing elements must be fitted into a U pattern, and that the 30 BTU unit would average 2,500 square feet, need a separate electrical unit from gas systems, and I had to make the decision about...
So you lost me already.
Did you ever have a conversation with somebody where they were like talking and talking and talking, and they had made their point, but you wanted them to get over with it? The kind of, where they really made
yes. Yeah.
How do
I
you
know a couple
react
people
in
who
that
do that.
situation? Do you picture how you react?
Probably. Yeah, I'm thinking of a specific person who just keeps talking. Does not seem to have a limit.
What do you do?
Normally I try and say something to kind of wind it up or sum it up.
Did you ever become involved in a conversation where somebody was elaborating on something or telling you about something and you wish they'd get to the point, they made their point and you wish they'd go on?
Often.
How do you react? What kind of...
I think being Japanese, half Japanese, I'm very polite and I listen.
Did you ever become involved in a conversation where somebody said things over and over again and they made the point, you wish they'd get on with it or come to the point and get it over with?
Happens all the time.
Okay, how do you react?
I generally close my mind to what they're saying. And if they're going to be redundant, and I've already registered on what they're saying, I guess my mind just goes on to other things that I'm thinking about until they once again capture my attention by saying something that is not repetitive.
Do you have people come to you or talk to you that sort of belabor a point, and they've made their point, you understand them, and you'd like them to either get on or you conclude?
Sure, and I'm better at that than anybody else I know, doing it to other people.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How do you react when somebody does that to you?
I tend to get impatient, although it doesn't really happen in my personal relationships with people. It happens in meetings when I have a lot to do, I'm on a job, and I get real impatient when people can't seem to get to the point or stick to the point or something like that. It's a waste of my time. I get annoyed about it.
Do you ever have anybody talk to you and they've made the point, but they keep elaborating and elaborating, and they like, you want to say to them,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
how do you react in that kind of situation?
It depends. It depends on if it's something I really am interested in and need to know, then I'll stop them and tell me that they've made the point or they haven't and they're losing me. Or if it's something that, I really don't care about or doesn't interest me a whole lot, then I'll just sort of go off in a never land and wait till they finish and come back to them kind of thing.
Were you ever involved in a conversation where the person belabored something and went on when they had already made the point and you wished that they would stop?
Mm-hmm.
You have. Okay. When does that usually happen with you? Not specifically at meetings or one-on-one?
Meetings. No, I think it's on one-on-ones when someone is trying to sell me something or convince me of something, and I'm already convinced, but they keep on going and going and going, and now I'm getting upset because I've already been convinced, and they don't have to prove to me that they know all that because it doesn't matter to me.
Right. So how do you let them know? How do you react?
I let them know.
You do?
Yeah, I say yes, or yes, I got it.
Okay. Would you ever do that to other people?
I have done it to other people.
How do they react?
Usually out of politeness, they will let me go on and on and on.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I have a tendency to go on and on and on. And so I sort of stop in the middle when I'm doing something to find out if I should go farther.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about sailing. Why is it one of your favorite hobbies?
It's probably the only activity that you can do that can totally take your mind off all the things that you do on a day-to-day basis and almost put you into another level of consciousness because you are now at one with the ocean or the sea or the wind, and you have the opportunity now to harness those natural resources and make them do your bidding. But it's in the same sense, in the same breath, you never ever going to have control of those resources.
Yeah.
And so they're always can be just as devastating as they are productive for you.
Yeah. So in other words, you like sailing because you have a boat and you can take that boat out and go to different places and visit foreign places and have the idea of a boat under you.
Well, I don't think it's just the boat.
And you're in control.
See, that's the thing. You're never in control. The
No.
wind in the ocean is in control. I think one of the things about sailing is it takes your mind away from all the day-to-day things that you're constantly aware of.
Okay, so then the thing about sailing is that you can become one with the ocean in terms of the sea and the wind and the natural
One
resources.
with nature.
Okay, one with nature. And it takes your mind off day-to-day things, and it's kind of relaxing, and it gets you to another level of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it does for you. And you never really know, you're never in control of those resources.
Never.
Yeah.
You can come around and get you.
Why are you interested in sailing, or why has it become so important?
I originally got involved in sailing because of its adventuresomeness, It was a good getaway, good vacation, weekend vacation, one-day vacations out to the islands. It's like camping. Then I got interested in racing because of the competitive nature of it, and it just added some excitement to my weekends.
Yeah.
Along with being out there in the ocean and relaxing, yeah, the excitement of the race.
So you own a sailboat, and you originally got interested in it because it was adventuresome,
Right.
and it gave you sort of a vacation and a get away from it all
Right.
kind of thing. And then you got more interested in the racing aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.